The made-to-order apocalypse for Marvel Legends has just ended, but what could Marvel Legends do to build up the hype as we await our incoming apocalypse? Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan. And today, we are thinking of some accompanying figures that could be joining Apocalypse as we await for his arrival probably next year. I could see it maybe getting pushed into 2027 even. But I think it was really cool to see kind of along with the Sentinel, you had the wave of House and Powers of X. Those fit really well to build up that hype for your Sentinel that was coming. I don't know that we really had that. Maybe Earth's Mightiest kind of built into Giant Man a little bit.
Yeah.
There was
technically Giant Man Wasp was after, right?
I think so.
So,
but yeah, so things like that, like the Retro Fantastic Four wave leading into the Galactus. That's the kind of vein that we're going off of here. So I've kind of compiled a list of 8 things. Maybe we'll sprinkle in some others. And Jordan, you can let me know how off the wall these are, how unlikely they are to come.
Okay.
But I thought first off, since he's getting teased for X-Men 97 Season 2, we should get a Horseman of Apocalypse Death, Gambit. I do think we'll probably will see a X-Men 97 version of this, but I think getting a comic version would be cool too. And I think people would probably go for both. But no, I don't know. I think that would just be a cool look for Gambit that we've never seen before in, I don't even know if any action figure has ever done that.
No, not that I can think of. And I think that would make sense with the show coming. And I think there's a lot of those looks you could get for the Horseman, but I think Gambit would be one that makes sense, especially with how beloved that episode is. I mean, it's been known to bring grown men to tears, and that's okay.
Yeah. That was kind of my thought process, is like, we definitely need Horsemen of Apocalypse, but I don't want to be like, oh, we're going to pull Spider-Man, and then we're going to pull Sentry, and it's like all these different like Horseman teams. Is like, I would almost rather they like put those all out at once, which I guess could be a part of this episode, but like, you could go over to Strong Collector Comics and listen to our take on what should be Horsemen of Apocalypse. But again, I wanted to like round out, which I'm not really rounding out. I don't even know who was on Gambit's team, but I think he's standalone enough to be by himself.
Yes.
But sticking with another Horseman of Apocalypse, I think it's time we get an update of the, blue and magenta Archangel, because we just got the X-Force Archangel with the new wings, and we got to get those new wings on most people's mind's eye of Archangel now.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're definitely due for him. That's one that I would rather. I got the other Angel, but I've still got the old Toy Biz one, and that one is very cool looking. I always liked the magenta metal wings for him. So I think that would make sense. How would you like to see the wings done, Dakota? Because we've got the older wings, we've got this new, the wing tech for this new one. I'm imagining we wouldn't just want those old wings. To me, I'd rather them be improved, right?
Yeah, I think you got to use the X-Force Archangel wings on him. I mean, I'd like those more featherish wings, but I feel like those are almost more X-Force to me. Like when he was in the like black and silver, his wings were more feathery, but I feel like when he's in the magenta and blue, they're almost more the like panel wings. So I'd probably go with the panel wings of, like the newer updated what they've done. But
I dig it.
Yeah.
You want some Toy Biz torpedoes on his back that you can shoot?
That wouldn't be too bad. I do think it would be funny if they could somehow pull that in to Legends, like modern, as like, oh hey guys, we put these little spring-loaded torpedoes into whoever it is in the future. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
If you want to save yourself from an apocalyptic future, you got to subscribe to the channel. I'm sure if you do that, you probably definitely won't have to deal with a dystopian future where Apocalypse is running it. So hit the subscribe button and find out. Next on my list of things that I think would make sense to accompany your Apocalypse is a new Bishop. And this one, I'm going with the Bald Bishop, because we had that as a variant in Toy Biz, but that's the only time we've ever had that. So I think getting an update of Bishop in that look, because we've had the long hair from the Sauron Build-A-Figure wave, we've had the kind of short hair from X-Men 97. Bishop's just losing his hair as we go along, and now he's bald. But I do think that's like a pretty cool, like, my
like a
mind's
time
eye
lapse.
is right.
Yeah.
Just gone.
Yeah.
But I
You
do
had
think,
the bald one as a kid, didn't you? Wasn't that the one? You had?
no, I never
Or
had
no?
that. No.
Oh, I thought you did.
I just had the long hair version.
It was my hair blindness made me think he was bald.
I don't see hair, actually.
Everybody's bald to me. Yeah. I think he's looked that way in enough depictions that would make sense. And I think that is a cool look. And it kind of gets out of, like, obviously his big, hair is kind of that 90s vibe.
Yeah.
He's just big and kind of X-Men, in that era. So I think the bald look would be a cool one for him.
Yeah. I feel like that's like almost more like apocalyptic. Like I could see him like being more like war-torn Bishop in that
Right.
way. So then to go along with
Losing
your
his
Bishop.
hair. Stressful living in the future.
Exactly. To go along with your Bishop, I thought we should also be getting a Shard. So I don't know if this is like they're on the same team. I don't know what their relationship is. If they're like how like related family wise, or boyfriend girlfriend, or just trying to survive Apocalypse's war torn future together. But Shard we've never seen as a Marvel Legend. But I think, especially like in the cartoons, she was always like, whenever Bishop's going back to the future, he's always like going back to her and that team, and she's kind of the main character of the team. So I think that'd be cool to get her. And again, you give her some blasters and stuff. I think that'd be fun.
I think she's Bishop's sister.
That's what I was thinking too, but I was like, I didn't understand how they were. I didn't know, so
I don't know.
I'll take it.
It's also different rules in the future. So.
Right. Because that was my first thought, was like, are they sisters? Are they lovers? I don't know. Maybe they're both. Who knows?
Like I said, in the age of Apocalypse,
Right.
anything goes.
Anything goes.
Okay.
Those are some of the items we're making up, but if you want your actual action figures, you can find those over at GoNewMeta.com. Use code STRONG101 as always to save 10% off.
All right.
Funny that you bring up Age of Apocalypse, though, Jordan.
Okay.
Because the next two on my list are from Age of Apocalypse.
Love it.
It doesn't seem like we're going to be getting full AOA waves anymore like we did with Sugarman and Colossus. They've kind of sprinkled them out with Gambit, and Nightcrawler is, I guess, kind of passable as your AOA Nightcrawler. But we still have not seen a Mr. Sinister from the AOA look, and he's one of the like main lieutenants for Apocalypse. So I think he would be one that would make a lot of sense. And a Storm, which is another one of the like main X-Men that we haven't seen in the AOA look. And I think she'd be pretty easy. She just kind of got more of the like puffy shirt and everything. But I think her being kind of one of the main X-Men is kind of surprising that we haven't seen her yet. But again, this is how we do it.
They come randomly when you least expect them.
So, and I would have to get both of those since I have all the other AOA looks. So, any AOA figures they do, they're just gonna suck me in with those.
Well, keep it coming.
Next, I'm gonna take us back to Apocalypse's origins, and I want a comic-based Ensaba Nur. I think it's again possible. We're seeing him now in X-Men '97. Maybe we get him in that, more cartoony look. But I think obviously the comic book looks are always going to be a little bit cooler.
He's got
I would take the comic look. I would take both, obviously, but I think he's a little bit more on the fence of like maybe not likely to do as X-Men '97. So that's where the comic based would fit in pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, I think he makes a lot of sense. I would like to see him. I mean, it's probably more likely, maybe he'd be in that animated one, but I would like to see him in regular form. Maybe, this is my plug, to get a Ramatut 2-pack, because I do believe that Kang in that era knows what Apocalypse is going to do and is trying to kill him at some point. So maybe, Dakota, that's how we sell my Ramatut. Because I don't know if Ramatut's going to sell on his own, but if he's with Ensaba Nur, we might be in a good spot.
That would be cool. I think, I would go for that. I was also thinking like maybe I just need to grab one of my Mythic Legions, get a custom head, and put it on like the Egyptian Gods 2-pack type of thing or something like that.
That would work because he's probably should be a little bit beefier.
True.
So,
No, now that's got me thinking. How can I make an Ensabanur out of Mythic Legions? But
I'm sure somebody's done it.
last on my list, I'm going from the beginnings, and now I'm taking us all the way to modern. I don't even know what happened with him now in modern comics, but I'm going to say Kid Apocalypse. So
Okay.
this I'd probably be more of the like teenage version of him when he's with kind of the new X-Men or all new X-Men team. Again, I don't really understand his story. Like I read the X-Force story where they were trying to kill like baby Apocalypse, and then Wolverine decides not to, and then I assume they take him back to the X-Mansion to maybe try to raise him up to not be a genocidal maniac,
Right.
and then he gets like stretchy powers, which I
Okay.
guess like Apocalypse has always had those like he
Yeah,
can
you could
change his like
transmutate and stuff.
right.
Yeah.
So, but it just kind of seemed weird that like Kid Apocalypse is like trying to be more of a Mr. Fantastic instead of like let me just turn my arm into a battering ram and bash
Right.
the bad guys. I don't. Again, I got bits and pieces of Kid Apocalypse, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he could fit.
Okay, because there's actually where he's like a kid, right? And then you're
Right.
saying there's a teen. Because
Yeah, he
I'll
like
admit I'm not too up on that part of Apocalypse's his life.
right.
It wasn't there one where he's like in a suit, like a
Yeah,
suited
that's
Apocalypse.
oh, you're saying like an adult Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That was like one issue of I think it was X-Men and House of, or no, it was past that, but it was like in the Krakoa era where Professor X, Magneto, and Apocalypse are going to meet with kind of the leaders of the world or something like that, I think, and they're all wearing their suits and
He's got to
they're
look nice.
right. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen some kit bashes with that of using like the Joe Fixit body with the Apocalypse heads and hands, and I do think that is a cool look, but it'd be very specific. But it is a cool issue.
I was thinking like him with like the kid version maybe, because then it would be like you could get away with maybe that Howard the Duck kind of.
Oh
No,
yeah,
not Howard the Duck. We got ripped off by that. But like a 2-pack where you have
Right.
a little, because maybe people
an
that maybe you get
accessory,
your
yeah.
teen one, but maybe you get the actual kid, and then you could have. I think that'd be kind of fun.
that is kind of a fun idea
Apocalypse
because
in a suit.
I feel like when you have Kid Apocalypse, he's usually wearing like the more like schoolboy outfit, and then
Right.
Teen Apocalypse is more like in the X-Men uniform. So yeah, having a kid suited and a adult suited would be kind of fun.
Some
Yeah.
kind of eras. How about Caliban?
Yeah, Caliban would be cool. I
Now-
love the Build-A-Figure, but
This would be like kind of a reissue, if you will, of the Caliban Build-A-Figure, I think. Which I know Caliban has a lot of ties to Apocalypse, and throughout the years, I believe, or at least there's some early stuff we could pull from. So I think you could justify Caliban. Maybe Dakota, that gets them thinking about this Caliban buck and how else we could use it, and maybe
Yes.
Sabretooth ends up on it someday. You never know.
I think that would be sweet because I was, we got the one on was he on the Venom body or something? I think so.
Yeah. Yes.
Which and that is a very cool Sabretooth. I like it. And I was like, you know what? I am happy with this. And then I was just going through my old photos and I had screenshotted a picture of a Caliban Sabretooth. And I was like, nope, I still want the Sabretooth on a Caliban.
Still want it, baby. I'll buy it.
Yep, I totally will. I don't care
think-
that he's still got pins. I'll still take it.
I think Caliban. I think I was brushing up on Genesis. I don't know if you're familiar with
I
that
don't know
character.
much about Genesis, no.
He is also from that 90s era when we were going heavy on, the X-Men, Apocalypse, future stuff. He's kind of got this bigger blue body armor kind of thing, long blonde hair going on. I know he was trying to wipe out Cable for a while. I'm trying to remember. It gets a little convoluted, that whole. So I think
Right.
it was like, is he a brother or is he a clone? Or everybody was a clone or a brother of Cyclops or Cable at some
Yeah.
point. So you guys can fill me in on Genesis. But I feel like he might be one of those ones that it's like I don't know much about, but people in that era I know are very passionate of like some of those characters that maybe I wasn't as familiar with. So maybe on that point, I think you could justify a new Cable. I think Cable has enough looks over the years. I don't know exactly what that would be. Maybe that'd be
Yeah.
like a 2-pack with him.
I was thinking like kind of like the more like he's kind of always got that like poncho-y type thing. If you
Yeah.
had like a soft goods type poncho, which I think sometimes, when we're like, oh, I want the wired cape for Thor, like that's a reach. But I think just
Right.
putting like a poncho is similar enough to like when they're doing the soft goods capes, it could be done. And I think that's kind of because I was thinking about maybe Cable and then like he could come with like an accessory of like baby Hope Summers or something.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like a Cable you got to have, I feel like,
Yeah.
in some way, because everybody loves Cable too. So
That makes sense. Those are some of our ideas for accompanying figures for the made-to-order Apocalypse. Let us know what we missed. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, stay strong.